Hi diddly dee, a pirate's life for me. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. What's up, smarty people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color. It's the KeysDAN Show. And today is Talk Like a Pirate Day. Here's 10 cool pirate terms explained for ye. Alongside cowboys and knights, pirates have always been a playtime staple. These historical figures have inspired countless childhood adventures, as well as several timeless characters from movies and books like Captain Hook or Long John Silver. In that sense, pirates' carefree lifestyle also influenced their unique vocabulary, which has become as synonymous with their culture as roguish exploits have. Here are 10 of the most iconic terms and phrases from pirate slang to help us relive those endless afternoons playing with our friends. Enjoy. We'll begin at the beginning. Ahoy! What's a better way of welcoming you than with a typical pirate salute? Ahoy is a versatile sailing term that can be used for greeting, bidding farewell, or simply catching the attention of someone. Being the seafaring adventurers that they were, this word is ever present in pirate vocabulary and is still playfully used by sailors everywhere. Funnily, the origins of this word can be traced back to a landscape on which a pirate would not be particularly comfortable. Cattle herding. Apparently, ahoy comes from adding an extra letter to hoy, a common English call to drive cattle. Let's move on to scallywag. The term scallywag describes someone who is well regarded, although he behaves in a somewhat mischievous manner. You can see how this term is now synonymous with pirates. Although these sea bandits were once deeply feared and despised, they are now looked at in a cheekier and devilish light. What's interesting is that scallywag was not a popular term during the time when pirates were most prominent in the late 17th and 18th century. In fact, it most likely came into use during the 19th century America, when the first pirate novels and plays were published. Pay attention or I'll make you walk the plank. Leave it to pirates to turn a simple wooden plank into a dreadful symbol. Walking the plank describes a method of execution in which the accused is forced to walk on a wooden plank extended over the side of the ship, often bound and blindfolded. While nowadays this technique is heavily associated with pirate culture, few, if any, real-life cases of people forced to walk the plank have been documented. In truth, it seems that it has become such a staple from its frequent use in literature and movies featuring pirates. Shiver me timbers! Shiver me timbers is an expression that was probably never uttered by a real pirate, but it has become so ingrained in this culture that it is difficult to find a fictional pirate who hasn't said this phrase at least once. With hindsight, it seems only natural that this phrase has become so popular since it was first said by one of literature's most iconic pirates. In Robert Louis Stevenson's 1883 classic, Treasure Island, the character of Long John Silver, considered by many to be the quintessential fictional pirate, says variations of shiver me timbers 7 times throughout the novel. These exclamations were used to denote Long John's surprise, anger, or annoyance, but they all denote an extreme shock, since the timbers referenced are the wooden support frames that hold the ship together. Are we having fun? Arr. Yes, we are. R is not a word, but it is the go-to expression for any wannabe pirate. Want to strike fear into the hearts of your seafaring enemies? Or maybe you just want to add an extra layer of drama to that Halloween costume. In any case, this onomatopoeia is the ultimate sound of anyone who chooses to impersonate a dreaded corsair. This entry should be entitled Sounds with an R associated with pirates, since other similar sounding onomatopoeias like yar or arr are also insanely popular. In that sense, trying to trace the origins of these sounds can be rather a daunting task. However, most sources agree that this type of pirate snarling was inspired by actor Robert Newton's many groundbreaking pirate roles, including Long John Silver in the 1950s adaptation of Treasure Island, and Blackbeard in 1952's Blackbeard the Pirate. We're past the point of no return. Davy Jones' locker. No, we are not referring to a locked metal compartment where a man named Davy Jones might store his gym equipment. In truth, Davy Jones is the pirate's very own boogeyman, a legendary spirit hell-bent on taking sailors' lives. In that sense, the expression Davy Jones' locker is used to describe the final resting place of many dreaded pirates, the bottom of the sea. The first written mention of Davy Jones is attributed to Robinson Crusoe's author Daniel Defoe, who mentions in a book the story of an enraged captain threatening to throw his crew to Davy Jones' locker. Some believed the legend was inspired by a real pirate called David Jones, who sailed through the Indian Ocean in the 17th century. Hornswoggling! You would think that for an honest man, being called a pirate would be insulting enough. But did you know that there's an adjective that can be added to give an extra kick to the deceitful nature of corsairs? By today's standards, the word hornswoggling sounds downright silly, but its meaning is less than charming. To hornswoggle someone means to cheat or deceive them, usually for monetary gain. Although the phrase hornswoggling buccaneer perfectly describes most pirates, this quirky word is by no means exclusive to them, since it is also associated with cowboys and gunslingers. In any case, it doesn't matter if it sounds like a Dr. Seuss character. Don't trust any hornswoggler you come across. Oh, there be the Jolly Roger. Have you ever wondered why the quintessential pirate flag is called a Jolly Roger? Don't you agree that the name seems a little too cheerful for such an ominous, threatening symbol? Unless the sunny disposition of a fellow named Roger inspired the first of these black flags, this name doesn't really make any sense. Well, the truth is that no one really knows when the term Jolly Roger was first used, although we can be certain that it is not connected to the name Roger. The most prevailing theory points to the fact that pirates originally raised plain flags to indicate their would-be targets their intentions, where a red flag meant no quarter would be given. In that sense, many believe the term Jolly Roger comes from the French expression Holy Rouge, which translates to pretty red. Land ho, ye landlubber. Would you believe if I told you that this entry features the most insulting word on this list? Granted, for us non-pirate folks, the term landlubber doesn't seem that harsh. If you ever called a pirate this, be prepared for a very loud and angry response. As you might have guessed, landlubber is a discouraging adjective used to describe anyone not versed in the seafaring ways of the pirates. Basically, anyone who is more comfortable at land than at sea. You could see how a pirate might take offense to this, seeing as how sailing skills are an incredible source of pride for any corsair worth their salt. Have you had fun, matey? One more for you. Let's end with a pirate term for camaraderie, which at the end of the day is one of the many things that pirates can teach us. How it feels to belong in a crew. Although pirates were definitely deceitful outlaws, they were bound by a code of honor that focused on trusting in your commander and your crewmates with your life. In that sense, the word matey is one of the most affectionate things a pirate can say to another. This term, which is used for a friend or a comrade, seems to come from the French word matelot, which means sailor or seaman. If you want to end up with more than a few pirate friends, then this is the word for you. Did you learn something, you scurvy dogs? That's 10 cool pirate terms. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace, you scurvy dogs. I'm out of here.